Hi, Mike.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Okay.
Thank you for doing the training today.
No problem. I hope we get more audience. But if anything, we can just do this. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen.
I think in the previous trainings they've waited like 5 minutes after.
Yeah, let's wait a little bit. Let's see who else comes in. Hey, we have Farsad.
Yes, how are you?
Mr. Pajan.
How are you?
Mohandas Pajan.
I'm good. How about you?
Good.
Javier, how's it going?
James. It's going good.
What's the weather like where you're at?
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warm?
I'll be back.
Sure. Let's give it a few more minutes. Okay, I think we can start now. Hello, guys. Those who know me, my name is Javier Guzman, and I just wanted to bring this up and want to show you guys a little bit and talk to you guys a little bit about how this double leaf um, units are being put together. Up here, we have just a typical single leaf. You know, your uh, male and female run all the way across, and your short vertical stops right underneath the horizontal. I'm just trying to, make these lines a little shorter so you can see and visualize where your horizontals and verticals stop at. So the logic for the double doors is, we have our main male and female going all the way up. Your head member is going to run all the way across from male to female at top. We have our horizontal right above the door also running all the way across, and our intermediate vertical is going to run in between. That means your intermediate vertical is going to start top of this horizontal right here. And we have the details over here. We'll go in a second. We'll go over it in a second. Since your intermediate mullion is running across, then that means that your horizontals in between, they gotta stop at daylight. So right here, this is just our typical details where the vertical male and female made up jam stop under the horizontal. This is your right side condition, and down here is just typical conditions. So there's a couple details I kind of want you to show you, and they are the main details that I want to just kind of go over, like what goes across and what stops over more than anything, because this is just the how we make these details for now, just to show how what goes across and what stops. So now it might vary a little bit on your projects, since many projects are specific. So let's just start with the head. Okay, so here your mullion is going to stop under the head member. It's going to be notched. It's going to have a clip under to just your 13 fps on each side of the verticals. Okay, so that's how it's just going to stop short. In some conditions where this member is solid body, then your vertical is gonna stop short, something like this. Okay, something like that. Okay, if we go back to the elevation, that was the head member. So let's talk about this detail, the intermediate vertical attachment above the horizontal. So since this horizontal is running across, again, one more time, just want to emphasize this, it's got to run across. This is just to make the unit stronger. So this detail is going to look like this, 20551. This has been an update to the detail where we have the clip at the back and also a clip up the front with his proper notching to put the fasteners through the face of the vertical, one on each vertical. And there's also, we have the 13F piece back here, and we have a bolt that goes into the diagonal raiseway. So that's your connection right above the door. We go back to the horizontal, to the elevation. This is just gonna show, how your horizontals are screw splining through the verticals. And yeah, and it's basically this view. We could look at the plan view up here, but it's just one of these. It'll be one of these details. 10553. So if we go to 10553, we're looking at it from the top, and this is what you have there. On this detail, it's just your clipping, how it's a side view of it. You have your angle at the back, your clips that you can see from the plan view, just looking at it from the top as well. This is farther away for your at the jam, at the door jams where they clip to the under the horizontal. So that's pretty much the basics of how the double leaf units are going to be built. Hope this helps you guys to visualize and see how you need to model these units. It is very important to kind of just follow this layout when we're making these units modeling wise. Your families and your details, your accurate details and accurate families will be provided in this previous for you guys to start the jobs. So I think this is the basics. I don't want to confuse you much on how these units are put together. I'm gonna make a link, or actually this is gonna be on the training videos. But if you want to come back and just review, if you have any questions, you're welcome to give me a call, and we can go over them.
I have a question, Javier.
Yes.
So at this middle mullion, are we still using any type of like lifting lug or bayonet, or are we just lifting on the far sides of the unit?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it depends on what the job is going to be, right? If it's going to be on lifting logs, then yes, you're going to throw a third one. I believe for this conditions, we're going to put a lifting log when we have bayonets here. If it is all lifting logs, then there's three lifting logs, and it's also important to have them three because these units are heavy. So the field uses three picking points for these units. So yes, when we have bayonet system, you're gonna have one here, and then there's gonna be a lifting lug.
Okay, that's a. I wonder what's the trigger for the FAB team. If can you go to that detail real quick?
Yes.
So do we
there's
show
no
that
detail.
lifting lug there?
Right
Oh,
here?
we do. Okay, perfect.
Yes, we have it. Yes, it's right here also. It's noted. It noted as required because I think the field has this one. This is per lifting lugs for when these conditions come. The other thing that I tried, I was almost
Wait, sorry.
missing.
Sorry, can you go to that detail again, real quick,
Mhm.
and just zoom in to that? Okay, so these fasteners just drill right into that lifting lug then as well.
They could be offset a bit. Like I said, I think this is going to be more like an as required basis, because if we have the bayonet system, then this is going to be to the side of it, to the side of these screws. If we have the lifting lugs, I mean, I don't think this is going to hit this clip. They're always going to put a little bit to the side of it, not
Oh,
necessarily in the
gotcha,
center. Yep.
So when you guys say as required, how do we know it's required? The field dictates that?
Yes, we talked to Field, and like I said, per one of the conversations, we mentioned that they were gonna have some, I guess, some spare parts, uh, lifting lugs, and they're gonna use them as required. And of course,
Because
like
we
I said,
have
when we
to
have,
fabricate the head to put notches in it so they can drop that lug and slide it where they need it.
yeah,
And so for us, we would have to know if we do need it, a lug there or not. If you just say as required, it's kind of open.
well, when you have this unit, then yes, you require it, right?
So it's not
You
as
have all
required.
bayonets.
So you do need it.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. I guess what I'm saying as required is when we have um, bayonets, it's going to be required. And I mean, also when we have all the bayonet system, I mean the lifting lugs, and we just gotta throw in the third one there. Something else that I was I almost missed, guys, to mention, these lights up here, there's 4 lights on these units. This is critical that we call them, they gotta be wet seal. Okay, on the detail, we're showing sealant here that the shop is we're gonna note it for the shop to wet seal these four lights. When we have the invisible system, don't want to get much into it, but when we have the invisible system, it's gonna have the wet seal right here instead of the gasket. And the horizontal detail also shows that. Like this. We talk about try to get a gasket for it, but we didn't finalize that. So we probably need to check these details again and update them if we can get a little gasket, you know, something that it can work with this condition. But for now, we should be doing the wet seal. The details have these notes, so let's make sure we do have them on your drawings. And yeah, you guys have any more questions?
The reason for the wet seal, Javier?
It's just to try to prevent any water infiltration, because you know that right here it's with splicing. This is kind of like a complicated condition here where we stop in the horizontal. I mean the vertical stop in the horizontal, and same thing here. So we're trying to just get it as waterproof as possible. It could, I mean, this could be conditions where, I don't know, maybe the door is right underneath the canopy, and it will never get water. So we just need to discuss that as well.
Javier, I have a question. This one
Yes,
is
for sure.
flat unit, right? Is one unit. But if we have segment wall, this should be two different units, right? How does it work on different unit on segment wall?
I don't know, how could we make a double leaf?
Yeah, that question came up in another meeting a couple of weeks
Uh-huh.
ago. And I think how that went was like the two units would really just be segmented.
Yeah, they
And
wanted to
then-
bolt it to each other. Do they have to make?
Yeah,
Project.
I don't recall which jobs. I know like
I mean, if we have on Harbor View, and it's a new job we are working on, sales model.
yeah, we had it on Moffett Place amenities as well, but that was an older job.
Yeah, I do recall a couple of jobs before, but I think it just, I think it
then
just
the
the header needs to go across,
header
and there
would
might
run
be
through.
there needs to be something work out right here, and also
some-
right there.
So Javier, this is actually, we're talking about the 10-foot unit, right?
The what? I'm sorry.
This is actually, we're talking about the 10-foot unit based on the unit marks. This is the whole unit.
Yes, this is one big unit.
Okay, so I noticed you marked over here, it's a foot, it's 5 foot, right? Zoom out a little bit, zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, this is just an example.
I know,
Many-
I know.
So-
I know. The reason I point to this one is for the next question I try to ask.
Okay.
So for load pass, when I see this one, actually, you only need anchor over here and anchor over here. This anchor may not necessary, correct? Because this you only have 2 units. Usually, the middle anchor does not do anything because unitized, the only top 2 anchors works. If you have third anchor in one line, the third anchor does not do anything in theory. Okay, only 2 point nodes work. The point I say this one is when this unit up to what kind of dimensions, we need to concern about the concentrated loads in the middle. I'm a little worried about the transom above this top. The whole loads will be central load dumped in the middle of the door opening. So the door opening width is critical. So if you open this section cut over here, could you please?
This section cut?
Yeah.
On this one, right?
Yeah, 502, detail 1. Yeah, this one. So this is I'm concerned right here because you probably see a lot of jobs when the door opening quite large and the unit size above the transom is big enough, all the loads will have concentrated loads dumped on top. So this is take the major loads for any loads above the door. So sometimes we have reinforced steel inside if we need. You see my point? So actually,
Yes.
we are looking for something. We should have some fastener, some way fastener from this direction.
I agree. I think this is determined when do the
Yeah,
drawings and the engineer tells us if we need the steel reinforcing. I think I've seen it in a couple of jobs already. So
yeah,
yeah, you're correct. In some
exactly.
conditions, it's required.
So for I recommend it, if you can go back to elevation sheets, this is my recommended. Maybe put notes over there will be easier to remind people looking this one. One, because sometimes Jumpstart can missing this one. This is a major concerns when I see this one. When our shop people draw this one, they probably looking each doors. We probably should have a note over here. What's the maximum over here? And what's the maximum over here? They need to notify the Jumpstart to evaluate. Do we need upgraded this detail? I should change this. Do we need to upgrade this detail? Because this detail does not have any structural consideration inside. It's completed just for shop assembly unit clip connections, frame connection, that's all. Because there's no any structural control over there. Really concerns. Because sometimes our shop drawing people actually, they finally get to know what's the door schedule, everything. We really don't know what's the top of modules changes. Because all these loads, it's dumped on top right here. That's a concentrate load. It's pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like for the drafting team, we can probably just, we can throw him a note just to check the structurals.
Yeah,
Just to see if
maybe
there's anything from the engineer
I
that
recommend
requires.
I recommend put some notes over here. When this is bigger than certain things, go back to check Jumpstart or something like that.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, we usually look for these steel reinforcing in our Jumpstart #2
Yeah.
package. But to address like the load jump just right on the center of the door, I have seen some projects where when we do have very large lights above the door, we had run, all the horizontals through, and
Yep.
then the setting blocks are just on the sides here. So all the load is really just transferring to the outer mullions rather than in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. So when we have a steel reinforced right here, so I have two ways to do that. One is this steel will completely take the load above. So which means requires a moment connection on both ends. So we don't care, middle, you don't have connections, fine. Another one, this considered reinforcement, which is we need a screw every 12 inches, make this compost section. So this mullion with a reinforced steel piece, could be steel, could be a mullion union tube, aluminum tube. So combined together, we call compost section, work together. Now, if that one, we don't require the special connection, moment connection over here. Just put screw at 12 inches on center. That's two ways for structural transferring loads. So it's a method. So anyway, this is actually Jumpstart can run the C-beam program to determine, but we just need to make sure our drafting people know when they say this one have a note, for example, if above 5 feet and this distance above certain area, we need to go back, kick back to Jumpstart to review that one.
Yep, I agree with you. Our drafting team, when we have these conditions, we really need to look at the jumpstart packages to see what was determined. Yep.
Yeah, and when these units are really large, I mean, we even changed the design of the door frame itself. So for instance, like on Gibraltar, we had, I believe, like 20-foot tall units. And then we actually just put in a subframe that was kind of separating it from the units just to account for any type of loads that's coming down.
Yep, that's correct.
I think for Gibraltar, that one that you're talking about, they broke the verticals into pieces and running the horizontals through. That's one way too. And a subframe too, but that was one of the design as well.
Yeah, we had to change the loading on Gibraltar where we dead loaded up above. That way we're not putting all the dead weight above the door header. That was the reason for the subframe.
That's correct, yeah. All right.
I have a question.
Okay.
Is this design preferred over the two split units and then bolted together? or will we still see bolted units above a pair door?
No, this will be the design now for these doors, for this type of doors. When we have that double door, double leaf door, yeah, it'll be one big unit.
And Javier, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the reason for that was because when these were two separate units, we were anchoring here and here, and then really in the midpoint here, it almost just became like a hinge point, right?
That's
There's
correct.
really nothing holding that together. So on some jobs, the engineer requested that we put a kicker in here, that we had to kick back to the beam.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, we put some plates underneath to try to put them together. Steel plates, yeah.
By the way, why we need a wet seal on the top? Is that cause leaking before? You pointed out when we need a wet seal above this transom area. You need all wet seal, not instead use gasket. Is that because it causes leaking in the glass pocket?
Yes.
It's because there's really no sill runner under that vert. So there's really nothing to capture that water. So if you go back to this detail.
Got it, yeah. Oh, actually, they have this talking about this Tuesday's system design meeting. I think Laverne have a project, they pointed at one. When this intermediate vertical going down, not only doors, whatever anything have intermediate verticals, the water get inside over here, is dripping over here. They have no gutter underneath can dump the water out. So they cause the issues over there.
That's one of the reasons why we need the wet seal, on the front, because
right.
So
but
make sure there's no water going in.
I'm trying talking this one is because this actually brought another issue. When we have intermediate vertical in the unit, the intermediate vertical, right now we don't have one hollow piece. We always two halves, right? Male, female, make that one, which just causes the problems. Because when you have male, female, you gasket, you cannot complete stop the moisture water get inside of the front cavity of the both halves. And the water eventually will drop on the bottom right here. And because intermediate vertical, you have no way to get it out. There's no gutter underneath. It's intermediate vertical. So they pointed this one to the jump start. And they said maybe possible solution, maybe we should use cut another die just for hollow one single die for the intermediate vertical. We can avoid these problems. Otherwise, we have to figure out something. Because right now it's not standard details, not work for water performance. System performance. Standard detail, no any special treatment for the waters for the intermediate vertical right now. And they're talking about we probably need to do some testing because they have a job right now in the shop. They have some unit right now. We'll see the test result for it.
Okay, I think that's what I got, guys.
Thank you, Javier.
All right. Thank you very much, Javier.
All right.
Thank you.
Guys.
Oh, there was
you.
a question in the Zoom chat. I don't know if
Oh.
you know that answer. What is the capacity of those lifting lugs? Do we know offhand?
I don't have that info. The capacity of the lugs.
I would say probably 500 pounds.
500 pounds?
I guess the reason each unit are roughly about 900,000 pounds. So hoisting lug usually on each side. It really based how much, what's the length of it. Because that kind of middle point, you have like a hoisting eyebolt lugs in the middle. That's actually, it based how much length. If you use like 6 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches, it can spread the loads. So it's hard to say. Usually about, I would say, half the unit loads, the weights, probably 500 pounds per each. That's a common one.
Yeah, I don't have this exact number, but
Yeah, this have to base on the, because that's different. It's not bayonet. It's cut horizontal slide into the gutter. So that's based on the length, how long it is. What's the usually length of it? 10 inches, 8 inches, something like that, or 12, 24 inches, right?
The lifting lug?
Yeah,
it's-
the eye bolt lifting lug in the middle. Is that what's the
The-
typical length of it?
The lug is only about less than the width of the mullion.
2.5
Okay.
inches, 3 inches?
It's less than that. Yeah, it's about 2 inches or
Yeah, I
2
would say
1/4.
if you want over 500 pounds.
Yeah,
Per
I know Jumpstart would know.
yeah, I wish
Yeah.
we had a guy from Jumpstart or
Do
Steve.
have
You
any
happen to
Jumpstart
know?
They designed for that one, yes.
Steve left us right when you called his name. He left us.
Yeah, but who's asking that question? I can get back to them. I can't see the comments for some reason. I don't know where they at.
Thank
Anybody?
you, Javier.
I have question.
Who's
Sorry,
this?
can I ask something?
Oh, Celine's
This-
asking another question.
I-
Oh, but sorry, real quick, to your question, Javier, who's asking? That's D. Escalante. I don't.
Okay, I'll
I'm
get
not
back to
familiar
you.
with that name. Go ahead, Celine.
Yeah, so just a drafting wise question. So since we just Javier just recommend to show this in the shop drawings, so I have always reminding by him. So I wonder, is it gonna be part of one of the recommendations, or is optional, or is it standard, right? To show this like unit door makeup thing, because I always miss to do this, but Javier remind me to do always. So I was wondering, should this be one of the checklists so the drafter can always remember to do this, you
So
know?
you're talking like the schematic design here,
Yeah,
like including that into shop drawings.
yeah. I just wonder. I don't know, because yes, people will always ask me too, even if I don't provide this, and the fab team will ask me. So I just wonder, because it also depends on the job, right? Because sometimes, yeah, it depends on how complicated too. So I just don't know. I just want to bring this up.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we could even just create like a little like scaled down version of this that we can grab just from the library, and then just
Mm-hmm.
you have like maybe 2 or 3 little options to choose from, and you just stick it, beside your elevation. I mean, this is
Yeah.
mainly for like fab team and the engineer, just to kind of back check to see what's running through and not. I mean, you can still get all that info from the details, but sometimes just looking at details and flipping through it, you do kind of lose yourself in the details a bit. But no, I do like the schematic design. If we can maybe scale it down a bit to show it on the drawings.
Yeah, the first time I was learning is from James' shop drawings. It's Murphy Place. I see that the first time, and then later on I was reminded by Javier a couple of times. He was always helping me a lot on the door units. So I think, and also I know that the fab team will ask me, even though I'm not showing it. So that's why I was. Maybe I should show it, but I just not sure because it's not really a standard. So I just want to bring this up. Maybe we can consider about that in the future.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. All right.
All right.
right.
Any other questions for Javier? Let's try to stump him a little bit. Let's see what other hard questions we can.
Yeah, bring him up.
All right. Well, thank you, Javier.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Javier.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Javier.
All right.
Thank you, Javier.
Everyone.
Bye.